Ladies and want to say with attitude, super duper morning show. Black's the CEO, constant one from a jail view. We actually have Black's the CEO here with us in the building. What's going on, Lexy?
What you saying, morning.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you, man. Yeah,
It's good to be here.
We talk a lot on the phone, social media. You know, we met up once or twice, but now you always said, you know what, I got to come to the studio.
And it was make it happen.
We're gonna make it happen. It was always to talk about and releasing new music.
Right.
However, we never got the chance to do that. But we're here to talk about something even more special to you.
Yes.
So we're not talking music today. We're actually talking about you becoming an author, basically.
Yeah.
So
today, basically, I'm Black's the CEO.
No.
I'm Alesco Violenes.
Alesco Violenes.
Yes.
And you've written a book called Surviving Point Blanche.
Yes, Surviving Point Blanche Prison.
So for those that don't know, you actually served time as an inmate at the Point Blanche Prison.
Yeah, I was sentenced to 19 years in Point Blanche Prison back in 2010.
Right.
And now we out here today.
Now you're out.
To spread the message.
Okay, all right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, from Black's the CEO to Alesco Violenes, and why you decided to write this book.
A lot of people may know me on Facebook as Lexy voiceover.
Yes.
So, I do the voiceover videos.
All the comedy stuff.
But
and
that
all
was just for fun. But Black the CEO, now that's the artist,
right?
The musical artist, play bass guitar, write music, rap, gone into producing now. This is my artist actually.
Okay.
Theodore the Weaver.
Big up to you one time in the building.
So, yeah. Going into art now, I'm Alesco Violenes.
Okay.
So we got different personalities, but they all have the same mission and spread the same message.
Now, did you know you always wanted to write a book? Because I know with a lot of your music, you already basically told your story.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now I have to do it on another level to reach a broader audience.
Okay.
So basically, it actually started as a joke, to be honest. So before I left in my last few days, me and my good friend Belly, we was in the kitchen because we worked in the kitchen for over 10 years.
Okay.
So he was like, bro, you did it, you passed, you need to write a book.
Yeah.
And I was like, what you want me to do? Call it Surviving Point Blanche Prison?
Yeah.
And it started as a joke, but it stayed in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
So when I got out now, my good friend, Miss Ruan, she was like, you've been through a lot and the world deserves to hear your story.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I really want to put that out there like that. But then after, it keep playing in the back of my mind and keep coming forward and forward. And I was like, she's like, you should write a book. I'm like, what you want me to call it? Surviving Point Blanche Prison? And then from there, that was it.
It just took off.
Some time passed, and then I just started to jot it down and put the pieces together, and then here we are today.
So how's the book composed? Do you talk about from the first day in straight through until the last day out?
I basically started from my beginning.
Okay.
As when I used to live
before you even got into
mid-region, I had to lead you up unto the point of how I actually got into crime, and then we go into the prison. So I actually started from when I was 4 years old. I was living in mid-region, and from there we moved to Dutch Quarter in 97.
Yeah.
And then now getting into Dutch Quarter now is where everything start to take place. That's where the story start to unfold.
Okay.
So from there, it's like you jumped into the life of crime now, based off of the life that you was living because of the family situation that you're in at the time and point.
Right.
Remember, I'm a child then, but I know I'm obligated to look out for my little brothers and sisters as well, as I'm the oldest of 5 kids. So it started off small with petty crimes. You go in the shop, you take this, and you come home, you eat, you do it again the next day because it was really bad in those times.
It was, some people from the other side would see it as something bad, but you saw it as survival, basically.
That's basically what it was.
Yeah.
Survival. I didn't think of it as stealing at the time. I just know I had to eat. My brother has to eat because, like I said in the book, things were so rough at home with my stepdad and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he passed away today, but it was so bad that...
Passed away today?
No, not today. But today he's not here.
I was going to say, damn. Okay.
So,
well, condolences,
right now, it was like, when he cook, we can't eat. Because we're not his kids.
Oh.
So me and my brother has different dads, and the last 3 of my siblings, that was their dad. So whatever he makes,
they got to eat.
They got to eat. So me and my brother, we was left to fend for ourselves. Even if my mom would put food aside for us, he would come back out, eat it.
Wow.
Or even throw it out.
So that's traumatizing growing up as a kid as well.
Yeah, nights I probably came home late, and you run in the street, you're a little child, you outside late with the boys and thing, and you come home late, the door locked.
Wow.
So now normally you open the window, put your hand inside, turn the key not in the door.
Okay.
So you have to sleep outside on the porch.
Whoa.
You understand?
So you've been through a lot. Now, I mean, before he passed, did you, when he passed, were you already out? Did you come out?
Yes, I was out.
Did you ever get a chance?
The good thing is, yes, we did make peace with it, because after all the time I sat, it was like I reflected and realized what it is was going on. So I learned to not hold grudges based off of the choices other people made. So I just look at it like this, and that was supposed to be my journey. That was supposed to be my path. And I made peace with it before he went. We never really sat down and have, but I said my piece, he said his piece, and that was that.
Interesting. Wow. Now let's talk about your time that you spent at Point Blanche, because you've been through it all. Like you said, you were sentenced to 19 years. You spent about 11 years
and 4 months.
4 months. So you've been through, I don't want to say the glory days, but you've been through the time when the prison was up to par, and then you saw it deteriorate. We would see videos of this or what. I mean, I don't know. I've never been there, so I can't tell you.
The prison was never up to par.
It was never up to par. Wow.
No. From the time I got there, I didn't hear about a new prison. That was since 2010.
Yeah.
And the conditions, we didn't have no toilets in them days. I thought like from police station days and the old police cells. Yeah. Imagine you in a cell with 6-7 different people.
Yeah.
And to go to the bathroom, you got to step over everybody during the night to reach in the bathroom, to poop in a hole.
In a hole. Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
You got to literally tie a cloth or a sock or a shirt on the pipe that's hanging from the ceiling to bathe because of the rusty water that would mess up your skin. Yeah. So from those days to heading to Point Blanche now, where we had to live that daily lifestyle of trying to survive the environment itself because of the deplorable conditions that it's in at the time. They tried a few things. They installed toilets years after. Installed better showers. You push a button, water come out. The stuff you see on TV. But that still wouldn't cut it, because it's leaking. It's breaking down. Imagine, like I said, you're going through Hurricane Irma and you watching the walls them disappear like paper.
Wow.
Like, would I even survive this? Am I going to wake up tomorrow? I don't know. But hey, that wasn't supposed to be the end of the story, and here we are today talking about it, because it's really bad.
Yeah, because a lot of people have the misconception that you guys have life in London when you are at the Point Blanche prison. Yes, the facilities might be not up to par, but a lot of people say, they commit crimes, they come out, they commit crimes again just so they could go back in, so they could have meals and this and that and whatnot. But according to your reality, it's not 100%.
A lot of people might think like, they have it good up there, 3 meals a day, no rent to pay, free light and water, but dude, you're paying with time. And only
it's time you can't get back.
No, only if you sit that time, you're going to realize like, by the TV don't make sense, the PlayStation don't make sense. Like the time I lose with my family, my friends I've seen passed away while I was behind bars, I can't do nothing about that.
Right.
So that is when you really start to sit and realize like, man, this is not worth it. It really isn't, because they got those guys who would come out. The younger generation now, they got it like going to prison is cool. It is not. You know what I mean? That's a trend. It is not, bro. Because when you really have to sit that hard time, it's only you at the end of the day inside of that cell now. Even if you got another guy there with you. But when them thoughts, them start to come out and that gate close 5 o'clock, bro, that's not a good feeling. Imagine having to do that year in, year out, and don't know if you ever going to come back. I had days when I sat there and like, will this ever done? Will I make it out of this place?
How did you pass your time? Did you like have a calendar just counting out the days?
That's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
You don't count. You just do it. You trust me, don't count the days. If you really got a big sentence, do not count the days, because it can just trouble you even more.
Right.
So what you do now is you sit and think of ways to pass the day even faster. If they had, back in those days, they had a lot of different classes that we used to enroll to. And the reason why too, because of my living situation that I came out from, now I'm in prison. Remember, my family ain't obligated to look out for me because I put myself in that situation.
There. Right.
You understand? So I did every class that they offered, because in them times they used to pay you.
Okay.
You get a little change, and get like 25 for hour for every class that you do.
Right.
So probably at the end of the month now, I got like $30, buy a cornflakes. Them times I used to smoke, so I buy a shack, wrappers, and that's basically it.
Wow.
About $30 a month because ain't had nobody putting canteen for me. You understand? I could remember one time my aunt, and she put $80 for me. And I said, boy, is that rough? You know? So I was like, no, I need to get a job.
Yeah.
And from there now, I got a job within the kitchen. And after that, I never asked nobody to put any money in my canteen. Everything I made after that was on my own.
Okay.
And I've been working in the kitchen ever since.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the book. So it's called, once again, Surviving Point Blanche Prison.
Right.
It's now available. People could purchase it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not out as yet.
It's on Amazon, yes, but the official release date is March 22nd.
Okay, March 22nd.
Yeah,
okay, so we're still a few days away.
Yeah, that's the day that makes me 2 years of free man.
Oh, wow, you know, March 22nd.
Yeah.
Now, when did you find out, okay, because you said you were sentenced to 19 years, but you came out a little bit earlier. Did you know that you were coming out early, or?
No, I did not. They basically came up with a pilot program, and I spearheaded that program. I was like the first one to be on the program.
Yeah.
And they set it in a way that you had to finish more than 50% of your initial sentence in order to be on the program.
Yeah.
I only finished 51% of 19 years. So I got away with 1%.
Yeah.
But based off of the behavior I projected within the prison and the respect that I've built with inmates and guards alike, they looked at me as like, okay, why is this guy still here?
Yeah.
You know, he did his time. Let's get rid of him. I wasn't really looking at it like that because I thought I was going to sit the whole 12 years and 6 months.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what I had to do.
Right.
You know, but I got out in 11 and 4. I did my house arrest. I got off a house arrest early as well. Because I did the Harvey Bay Unscripted. I did the first episode on that. You know, so they got me off of house arrest early as well. And ever since then, I've been, you know, just trying to do better for myself and the community. So I just need to put different plans in place and
now this is a real interesting, you have a real interesting story. 15 minutes in enough, man. I wish I could go more with you, but I'll squeeze in a little bit more. So the book, like you said, it's coming out March 22nd. That's on Friday. That's going to make exactly 2 years since you've been released. How has it been, you know, within those 2 years, you know, getting back into society?
One thing I could say, it's been kind of rough, but if you have a support system and people to guide you in the right direction, ain't no way you could fall back off of that path. And that's what the government, the new incoming government needs to do today, is set up a support system for ex-inmates where they could get guidance in order to know what to do and when to do it. Instead of just having them come out, you put them out, there's no jobs, there's no schooling, there's nothing for you to do. So what do? You're going to end back up with the same people that you used to chill with before because that's what you know. But if they have a structure in place where they can put you in a schooling or they put you in a job where you can make a living at the end of the month, then you have no reason to go back on the block. You have no reason to sell drugs. You have no reason to do crime because you're making a sustainable living. And it might not be much, but it's better than sitting down there and putting back on a mask and going back up to get those free meals. But
that could be on a case by case basis because I'm not sure if you had that support system. But like I said, we've been talking for a while. Even while you were in prison, we used to find ways you know, to talk with each other. And from then, I always saw that you always had a positive mindset. So maybe in certain cases, you know, people like you know, persons like you might be a little bit different. You might not have that support system, but you realize, listen, what I did was wrong, but I accept what I did.
Yes.
And I'm responsible. So now when I come out, I need to make a difference. I have to make a difference, you know. And I wish, you know, there were more people that had the mindset like you do. I don't know if you've ever thought about it, maybe going into some of the schools.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's part of the programs that we have lined up, even with the Together We Can Foundation.
Okay.
I'm the vice president for that foundation.
Yeah.
Right now. And we have programs set up, mentoring programs. I have one guy that I just brought in and started mentoring him as well. So we're looking forward to reach out to more schools and just spread the message. That's the goal right now. The main goal for the first half of this year is to get the books in all the high schools, all the mental health facilities, the prison, Miss Lally Center, practically, basically, like they had said, all the homes on the island. And the second half of the year for the goal is to spread it across to the neighboring islands, Sable, Statia, Anguilla, and get it in those schools and in those prisons, you know, and then we go international from there. But we need to start with home first.
Okay, and like you said in the book, you know, you started off with, what you did that led you to get sentenced. Now, I don't want to give away too much because I want people to get the book and get the story. But once they gave you that sentence, like, what was the first thing that went through your mind that said, wow, okay, now this is going to be my reality?
Well, I sat there, I looked at the prosecutor, and she asked for 26 years for me.
Ooh.
I wasn't even 21 yet.
Yeah.
And she's asking for 26 years. And now I'm sitting down thinking, like, what did I do to deserve
to get 26? Because I wanted to ask, but I said, let me save that for the book. Is that in the book as well?
Like I said before, when you sit down and reflect on what it is you did, then it was like, okay, 26 years, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But the things that we did in those times, I had to do my time. There was no doubt about it. So when I sat there and listened to the judge call 19 years and the gavel bang, I like, okay, this is what my life is now.
Yeah.
Will it done 19 years? I didn't know about the tutors and the law and the system. So years after I sat and started to study of how the system really works, I like, so I got to do 12 years out of the 19 years. So how we can do this now? But in them times, you're young, so you still running around, you're still moving reckless, you still. But it's after like first 2 to 3 years now, it's like, man, this is my life now. I need to survive this if I'm going to make it out alive.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, any day could be your last day inside a prison.
That's true.
It doesn't matter who you are or who you know within there. Your own friend could turn against you because the prison life is a whole different life than the outside. You understand? And sometimes, I'm sorry to say, but not even the guards could help you. And it's that because they're so miscommunicated, the whole system, the structure, everything is bad within that place. That stuff happens and they don't even know how it happened.
Yeah.
But then the outside world now get the news that, man, look, you see, nothing good comes out of that place. Another stabbing, another fight, another this. But there are things that are supposed to be in place that are not there
to prevent these
things from happening, but they don't do it.
Have you ever had the opportunity to sit down with the ministers of or whichever minister of justice at the time or whatever?
Now, no, we had a inmate association within the prison, and they fought a lot of cases along with Rosenberg.
So
she took up a lot of cases for us at that time on our behalf, and I would really like to sit with them and have a meeting. We could come up with a board, a prison board, or a refinery board, whatever the case may be. But something needs to be put in place, and that's our message also to the new incoming government. Focus on the youth because
we've been seeing
they are the future.
For the last 2 weeks we've been seeing videos like, can't believe it.
School fights gone reckless, little kids who ain't even. I mean, come on, man. What are we really doing? We really need to sit and have a discussion, and we can't blame the kids alone. Gotta blame the parents as well too, because we need more supervision. Back in the days now, you had a
little altercation.
It takes it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
Your grandmother would hear what you do. They had no phone, so how she know about what you do before you even reach home? And you get your whooping, you got call your punishment. We don't have that no more. Nobody ain't looking out for nobody no more. And that is where we just go wrong because there is no communication.
Now, interesting fact that many people might not know. I heard you mention it in another interview that you didn't know your father. And even up to today, you still don't know your father.
No.
Do you think that attributed to the life that, besides having to survive what you did for your family, do you think that also played a role in how you ended up?
I would say so because again there was no guidance. My stepdad was busy drinking. You understand? My mom was busy trying to provide to keep the roof over our head, and having my dad not there is like, well, who am I? There's nobody to sit with me and teach me, so I turned to the streets.
Right. And the other father figure that was there to teach you, he basically pushed you aside. Yeah,
that was a daily argument.
Yeah,
and the best thing for me was to avoid getting in those arguments.
Yeah.
So therefore, that led me to staying outside more often. But as far as knowing who my father is, I would like to.
Yeah.
But at this point, I made peace with it, and if it happens, it happens. I wouldn't hold no grudge against him for making the decision that he made.
Yeah.
But basically, making that decision makes me who I am today. So if it happens, it happens. But right now, I'm just focusing on making myself better and my community better. And from there, we need to start.
Now, of course, when we get the book, you would want us to read it from beginning to end. But what chapter would you say was like a chapter that you think we should really, really focus on, you would say?
The incarceration experience. That's the main part of the book that you would really need to focus on.
Yeah.
And that goes for those who are in there sitting at this time and point. And anybody that's actually thinking about doing crime, you would know what to expect and you will see what it is you have to go through in the incarceration experience. But the main advice in that book is basically close to the ending, where you have the road to redemption, the resilience, the tapestry of hope.
Yeah.
You know, those are the things that you really need to pay attention to and heed those warnings, because trust me, I've lived it. It's real. And I wouldn't want that for my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Because they say prison is made for everybody. But that doesn't mean you have to make the choice to go there.
To be there.
You can choose to do something different. That's what you really need to look into within that book.
Wow. Alesco Violenes here with us this morning on the Super Duper Morning Show, aka Black's CEO, talking about his new book, which drops on Friday. It's called Surviving Point Blanche Prison.
Yeah.
You can pre-order it. It's now available on Amazon. Which version do you have? It hard copy?
They have paperback and they have ebooks. So
and ebook version as well.
Hard copy, yes.
Okay, all right. So look out for that. Now, like I mentioned before, you are a musician, an artist as well.
Yes.
Do you think? I think this would be a pretty good idea, a soundtrack to the book.
That's what Jail Juice for, and this is my director.
Okay.
So we're about to shoot the video clip.
Okay, so you do have that already.
Yes, let me just give you a brief insight as to what's going to take place. We want to I don't want to give you too much, but we want to put it into a therapy session. So you hear what I said in the song, but now this is like me one-on-one with a therapist now.
Okay.
And as the scene goes by, everything within the scene, in the background, it keeps changing. So that shows my development and growth from where I was to where I am now, and what's going to happen later down the road. So I didn't talk too much on top of it. I mean, just wait for them. I'll leave Mr. DeWeaver do his thing. Direct the video, and then we take it out from there.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
What was one of the biggest changes that you experienced once you came out? Once they opened the doors and they said you're free to go. What was the biggest thing that you noticed that changed when you came out? And what was the first thing that you did when you came out?
The first thing that I did was I took a deep breath. The air is completely different.
Even though it's right, the door is right there. It's
different.
Yeah.
The air is completely. He could tell you. He's been there. So
Theo was locked up?
No.
I was a guard.
He was a prison guard.
Okay.
So Theo knows my story. So, but even
so, you guys met each other in the prison and you kept that relationship.
Yeah, we know each other since high school.
From high school.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, leaving from that door and just walking out that gate, even you reach by the security booth, is like,
wow.
That is. I wasn't completely free because I was still on house arrest.
But you're outside.
I was outside.
Yeah.
And imagine the first night of actually looking up at the stars.
Yeah.
Because from in there you can't really see the stars because you got ceiling.
Yeah.
You can't see nothing. So you really look up at the stars and like, okay, this is the night sky. I even forget what a Jew had feel like.
Did you get emotional? Did you break down? Because I would. I'll be honest.
I wouldn't say breakdown, but it was a very
humbling,
enlightening feeling because I know the change that I made within myself, and all I have to do now is take everything that I've learned on the inside and apply it to the outside and stay outside. So from then is when I told myself, listen, you need to make that change now.
Yeah.
And you need to make a change for yourself, for your community, You don't know how you can start it. First of all, you need to start getting jobs.
Right.
Working. It was rough. It was a rough start.
I could imagine.
I had a support system.
Uh-huh.
You understand? And that was very important to me. And I had people to guide me in the right direction. It was rough from one job to the next job until I find my footing. So now...
And you're even an entrepreneur now. You're like, listen, I got to do my own thing.
I say, you know what? To make this thing happen properly, you need to start from the roots. And who are the roots? The kids.
Yeah.
So now I work at Ujima.
Okay, nice.
Where we mentor the kids them and put them through a rehabilitation process for them to actually do better when they go back to their families at home. So that's one step, and I'm working with Mr. Martina right now at Miss Lally Center in putting a recording and production program, as well as agriculture for the kids them down there, that they could learn a skill or trade, learn to record and produce music, and do agriculture and learn how to profitize from like microgreens or the vegetation. You know? So that's what we're working on right now, among some programs that we have.
Have you ever met or had a discussion with Dr. Rum? Because I know he used to do a program in the Netherlands. I'm not sure if he did anything at the prison here, where he would work with inmates as well with music. And I think if the two of you, sat down and talked and collaborated, maybe...
Listen, me and Rum go way back from the Goat Pen days, drumming on the bench and drawing crowds in MPC days, and to see what he did and the process he went through in the Netherlands and what he was doing within the prison, I was like, bro, we need that here. Yeah. And he was like, okay, but talk to them, let's do something. But then again, it was based off of the structure and the condition that the prison was in at the time, that nothing could have been done. I had a meeting with the director at the time, was Rohan, and he gave me the permission to open a recording studio within the chapel. So if certain things had to be set in place, and you had to have a certain behavior in order for you to come outside and join us within the chapel, because that's where I learned to play bass guitar as well within the church. So we got that program, but it never happened. So again, time and time, I talked to Mr. Tillman, like, listen, we need to get something done. And then they used to come to see me and like, listen, we need to talk to the kids at Ujima. So Ujima was already in the picture without me even knowing it. And that was actually the first job interview that called me when I got out. By the time, maybe it wasn't the right time because I still had to get my bearings and everything together. But now this is where I am. I like the job that I do, and I intend to make a difference, and we're starting from there. All
right, we have here Mr. Alesco Violenes here with us. I gotta wrap it up. I don't want to, but
that's okay.
I'll see if we
got some more coming.
Because I could continue with this topic for at least the next hour, because I have so much I want to ask you. Also, we have Theo De Weaver here with us. Like you mentioned, I had no idea you worked at the prison as a prison guard. Just grab the mic. See, I made you talk. Still, you didn't come to talk, but I made you talk. And like you mentioned, you and Lexy know each other from high school. How was it, you being a prison guard now, seeing a lot of your peers, coming in?
That was rough.
Yeah.
That was, you like, when I saw him for the first time there, I was like, man, like,
what happened?
Yeah. Like what happened? But after that, I saw the changes. I saw, the growth. And he actually had a little studio as well.
His own makeshift studio.
So I used to, when I'm working on the shift and it's a little slow, used to go in there, we used to make some music. So from in there, we've been doing some really cool stuff.
Nice.
So as a lot of people really thought that I left the island. They didn't know where I was. So when they do come into prison, it was like, this is where you be all the time?
Right.
This is where you not want to be though.
Where you don't want to be.
You understand? So it's been going on a while now, and we have some work that we do in the process. We're about to start a podcast called Don't Judge, Just Listen.
Oh, nice.
And that's a platform where we're going to utilize it for local artists who want to share their story, express themselves, talk about what's happening in their life, what's going on with the music, where they came from, what they're going to do, and where they want to see themselves heading next. So we got all of that in the works coming up, but we could set up another interview.
For sure, man. I love it. I'm proud of you guys.
Thanks,
man. Yeah, man. Surviving Point Blanche Prison drops on Friday, March 22nd.
Right.
You can pre-order it on Amazon. Will we have any physical copies here on the island for sale?
Yes. Yeah? What we need to do now is get sponsors to mass produce the book.
Okay.
And that's what I'm aiming for right now, to get sponsors, if anybody wants to chip in, then let's get it, because the schools need these things.
Yeah.
The homes need these things. So let's get it.
I think this is a great project, a great initiative, and proud of you, man. I like it. Can't wait for the book to drop. I'm going to pre-order mine today because I think you have a very interesting story to tell. And whether it's through music, whether it's through this book, or whether it's through whatever you plan to do, moving forward,
right.
Whether it's reaching out to the youth in schools or the detention centers, mental health foundation. I mean, from what it shows and it proves that you could go through what you went through in life,
right.
but it doesn't have to end that way.
No,
you could turn things around, and you don't have to wait for other people, for it to happen.
As long as you're breathing, you have a second chance.
Yeah.
Because I know I have friends, brothers that left the prison 4 months after they died.
Yeah.
After doing 2-3 years, they're not here no more. So that was a real eye opener for me. And like, listen, we really need to make a change within ourselves going forward, because life is even shorter nowadays with the speed that everybody's moving on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You really need to utilize your time wisely while we're still walking amongst the living.
Yeah. Lexy, thanks again for joining us. Make sure you check it out. Surviving Point Blanche Prison, a story of redemption and resilience, drops on Friday. Make sure you get your copies, pre-order your copies, or you could get the ebook version as well. And take a read, and hopefully we could invite you back to the studio and chop it up a little bit more.
Yeah, we have part 2, man. Don't worry.
Yeah. Looking forward to more music.
We got a lot more music coming. We got a video series coming just now. Yeah. So trust me, they can hear a lot more about me. This year, this 2024, we're giving them 2020 more. Yeah,
Sounds good.
We're doing this thing.
Before you leave, one more question, which is the question of the day. Facebook.com/Laser101. Which decade has the best music, you think?
Which decade has the best music? Yeah. In terms of,
your personal. That's your personal. Yeah.
Late 80s, early 2000s.
Okay. All right. Agree, Tail? Same thing.
Yeah. I do listen to the oldie goldies, the Percy Sledge, the Gregory Abbotts, the Otis Reddings. I do listen to those, but in my time, late 80s, early 2000s. Right.
We still about those music.
That was it for me there, boy.
All right. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, let's say maybe to sponsor the book, or maybe to do, maybe some talks with some students, or anything else. Maybe they're inspired by your story, they want to help you out. How can they get in contact with you?
You can reach me at 554-4651. That's 554-4651. And my email address is alescoviolenes@gmail.com. That's ALESCOVIOLENES@gmail.com.
And you can find him on Facebook. Lexy Voiceovers.
Yeah.
Funny stuff, man. Funny stuff. Well, great to have you here, and much success.
Thank you, man.
And keep up the great work, man.
Thank you.
All right. We got birthdays coming up next, so keep it locked right here to Laser 101.